diversity, security, and cash flow. These are my three principal pillars for 2023 predictions of more of the same. With more of the same actually happening a whole lot faster, a whole lot sooner. People losing their jobs, people getting laid off, people seeing their savings, their money in the banks being wiped out and depleted rapidly. Some of which still working, some of whom have been retired and now looking to return and enter back into the workforce because their retirement savings and nest egg has been depleted through higher costs, higher prices, intense inflation, and as we approach a recession, worrying, panicking, fearing what is likely to come for the ill prepared. Meanwhile, receiving questions from a long growing list of people asking, Kevin, what is diversity? How do I diversify? Well, folks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kevin, Kevin in all caps. YouTube.com/@Kevin247. Find me in search, Kevin Prepper, or look me up on Patreon.com/Kevin247. Links in the description, free links in the description. Go check it out. This video today is brought to you by diversity because with the possible likelihood of total economic collapse on the horizon, banks shutting down, total de-dollarization, the list goes on and on, folks. I want to make sure that me, myself, my family, my businesses are not subject to the consequences that could result in any one possible or multiple catastrophic events that will ultimately wipe out people and businesses financially. It's not just supply chain disruptions. It's no longer just higher interest rates. It's not just the theft that is occurring in some industries. There's a variety of factors that are out there that are working to ultimately wipe out so many. With now, one of the most recent being the banks wanting to shut down businesses and not do businesses with certain industries. Now, I brought you guys videos on this before of accounts being flagged, banks shutting down accounts, wiping out customers, long-standing customers, having banked with certain banks, one in particular, for decades, over 25 years in multiple scenarios, in multiple cases. One bank in particular, red and yellow logo, red and gold logo, that's consistently in the news for being busted and for wrongdoing and ultimately being fined and paying penalties and fees to account holders that they have screwed over in the past and more to come in the future, folks. I told you guys once before, DMX, he actually said this, the late DMX said, trust a snake to be a snake. I don't get mad that a snake is a snake, but I also know a snake is a snake. So why am I going to play with a snake knowing I can get bit, knowing that I could be poisoned, knowing that I could die? Just know that. Now, it's up to you on who you choose to bank with or what bank you choose to put your money in, or a variety of banks, which would be part of diversity. If you want to trust the banks, or if you want to trust the credit unions, if you want to trust your mattress, if you want to trust gold bars, this is diversity, folks, because diversity is just that, not putting all your eggs in one basket. But with that being said, there's a lot of folks that don't have any eggs to put in any baskets, and I'm talking about money. I'm talking about people that don't have money, that don't have a reasonable amount of income to put them in a position to have disposable income for savings and investing. I'm talking about people who are barely keeping their heads above water right now, and with no foreseeable plan in the future to improve on this situation, which is only literally going to force you into a tougher, tighter corner that there's no plan besides falling behind, not making payments, counting on the government, counting on handouts, counting on welfare, counting on stimulus, counting on something, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And folks, that is not a good plan. Hope is not a plan. Now, I want to talk about diversity, especially from the standpoint of business. because businesses here recently have been sharing with me that, a few in particular, they are experiencing troubles and negative impacts to their ability to conduct business in a variety of ways, but one of them coming from the banks and the credit card processing merchants. And all I can say is, if you work for an industry that may not necessarily align with certain political agendas, then you could potentially be at risk. Sorry about this. I'm just replying to a message. Squirrel Trap's trying to come meet me here. So, if you're involved in an industry and it is considered questionable, or I'm trying to remember the terminology that they used, that was it just wasn't of the norm. It was unique. It was oh man, it's gonna bug me. I'll look it up. I'll pin it in the comments section and let you guys know exactly what that phrase was that they used. But these types of industries, let's just say, for instance, these third-party industries, these paywall websites, and now also I'm learning about the FFL gun dealers and gun brokers, and now these, obviously not just now, but adding to the list, CBD. But this is just going to be a growing trend, okay? So when I speak of diversity, security, and cash flow, in order to deliver on the securing your financial future and maintaining cash flow, you're going to have diversity, because let's just say, for instance, you're in an industry that is going to get wiped out by banking regulations, new rules and policies, new bills being proposed and pushed through Congress, new executive orders being signed by Biden. The list goes on and on. You're going to want to have diversity, not just in where you keep your money. Obviously, in these banks is probably not going to be the answer, because they're going to more than likely freeze your accounts, flag your accounts. Your funds will be frozen before your accounts are closed. But you're going to want to have diversity in the way that you can produce the cash flow. So this may mean taking a closer look at your business model and deciding how you're going to pivot. Everybody talks about the Fed, Jerome Powell possibly pivoting, but we ourselves need to be focusing on how we can and will pivot in the future, because much like everything else that is rapidly changing, so must we, and so must how we go to business and go to market and make money. Our businesses must evolve. That's diversity, okay? Not necessarily saying, I've done this forever, this is all I've ever done, this is all I ever know, this is all I'm ever going to do. That's not going to work anymore. We have to have a diverse plan and a diverse strategy on ways to alternate how we're going to produce income and reduce loss, because the last thing you want to do is have to make an abrupt change in your business that ultimately costs you money to make that change, which puts you on a further uphill battle to producing, positive cash flows and producing profit, net income. With that being said, diversifying your position financially, you got banks, you got physical assets, you've got gold, you got silver, you've got stocks, you got crypto, you got real estate. You have a variety of investment vehicles out there that, can create diversity. I told you guys once before, if, for instance, the banks were to crash, collapse, we will see the dollar just fall apart, no longer be the world's reserve currency, ultimately be worthless overnight. Do you want to be sitting on a pile of dollars? Probably not. Me personally, I would rather be sitting on a pile of diversity, okay? A pile of diverse means of bartering, trade, and ways of producing whatever the new form of currency, the new medium of exchange, the new money. I watched Jeremiah Babe earlier today, and he was showing gold. He had a gold coin or token, and he referred to it as money. And so ultimately, whatever this new form of money, new shape that it takes on, I want to be sitting on a pile of assets, cash flow producing assets that can then be revalued based on this new form, whether it's gold, whether it's CBDC, whether it's Ripple XRP or Bitcoin BTC, or who knows what it could possibly be. I want to be sitting on a pile of assets that will be revalued and capable of producing cash flow in this new form. I will have some US dollars, some cash money still. Odds that it goes to zero and is absolutely worthless, your guess is as good as mine. But I don't want to be extremely heavy in it, but I also want to not have it either in a situation, in an instance where maybe the grid goes down, maybe there's a halt on electronic transfers, and we are limited to physical dollars. Okay, well, I don't want to be, a sitting duck. I want to have diversity. So when people ask what is diversity, diversity is just that, not necessarily being limited or having all your eggs in one basket, and having the inability to be agile and pivot depending on the given situation. There should always be at least a plan B, but odds are, if you want the best chance of survival, plan C, plan D, plan E, as many possible plans as you can make up. That makes sense. Just in case one of them falls through, or two of them fall through, or whatever it may be. We just never know what's going to happen. Business is changing, evolving rapidly. How people do business, the cost of doing business, especially with these merchants and what they charge to conduct these transactions on their exchange platforms, as well as the exchange platforms themselves that house these cryptocurrencies, for instance, like Coinbase or Binance. That's part of the diversity plan. But at the same time, you don't want to put yourself at too much risk by entrusting all of your diversity in these exchanges. So again, folks, cold storage is part of diversity. Cold storage, hot storage. We need to be as agile and as flexible as possible, because we don't know what's going to happen. And odds are, I'd be willing to bet if we were to see a catastrophic explosion or implosion of our current financial system, folks sitting on cryptocurrency would be fine. They would be fine. They have adopted and have adapted to this possible bartering tool and medium of exchange, so that if the US dollar, if the banks were to collapse, if credit, there was a credit freeze or whatever it may be, people still have the ability to be flexible. They have diversity. They have assets. They have alternative means of conducting business and transactions through cryptocurrency, through Bitcoin, through Ethereum, through XRP. Ripple may not be the best choice right now, but there's a variety of options out there that's providing optimism in the world of the future of continuation. Because at some point, odds are there's going to have to be a drastic change from what we knew to what we will know moving forward. But the last thing you want to do is find yourself in a situation, in a position to not have been prepared and ready for that, and the day hits and you don't have a Coinbase account, you don't have a Binance account, you don't have any cryptocurrency, you don't have any Bitcoin, you don't have anything besides a few dollars in the bank, maybe some credit cards that are probably near maxed out, and a 401k or IRA that is probably worthless at that point in time. So, folks, diversity, security, and cash flow. And if you're saying to yourself, I don't even have any money as it is to even be concerned with, or have the ability to even consider diversifying my assets and diversifying my wealth and diversifying my savings and my investments to produce these cash flows, well then drop a comment down below and let me know, so I can have a better idea on what video I need to bring to you guys next, because that's going to be most important. the ability to produce the money and produce the income to build the wealth, to have this problem, which is a good problem to have, of diversifying these assets and this wealth, to protect it and allow you the freedom and flexibility to be able to pivot if we need to hit that plan B button. If, there is some major event that occurs, particularly that could occur on a Friday, according to some FDIC warnings, that way we're ready. The best way to be ready is to get ready as soon as possible, to prepare. How do I prepare? That's a common question that gets asked on a lot of my videos. And there's a multitude of different ways on how you can get prepared, but the best way to do it is to go ahead and start now. So if you guys are saying to yourself, one, I don't want to be a potential casualty in this economic crisis and this economic crash and fallout, and I want to be able to increase my income and produce multiple streams of income, produce passive income streams, have the ability to save and invest and build out these diverse safety net strategy plans. Well, folks, comment down below, let me know so we can make that happen. I can discuss a variety of ways. Obviously, I'm going to lean on YouTube for the most part, because that's my favorite, but there are other opportunities out there that do exist that we can discuss, and we need to discuss them in a way of sustainability and almost recession proofing these, while also paying attention to the trends and the likelihood of them being wiped out with changes that are occurring in business, occurring in politics, occurring in banking, etc., etc. Folks, just let me know. Drop a comment. I appreciate you watching. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video with anybody you think it would be helpful and beneficial to. You guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.